AITA for refusing to let my brother stay with me after he hurt my dog. Hi Reddit, this is a throwaway because it's a sensitive family issue. I'm 28F, and I want to share a long story about my brother Josh, 25M, my dog Bean, and a huge mess that's been going on for over a year. I love my dog Bean more than anything. He's a rescue, a big gentle golden retriever mix who's been my companion for 5 years. He's smart, calm, and protective, but he's also sensitive. He doesn't like chaos or loud noises and gets really anxious around people he doesn't trust. Josh and I have never been super close. He's always been a bit wild, impulsive, with a temper and problems with alcohol. Over the years, this has caused a lot of fights and worry for our family. Our parents tried to help him, but eventually he got kicked out of their house last year because of several incidents where he drank too much, got aggressive, and even smashed things in the house. At that point, Josh started begging me to let him stay with me. I live in a small apartment, work full-time, and have Bean's well-being to think about. I was hesitant but didn't want to abandon my brother. I agreed on strict conditions: no drinking in my home, no overnight guests, and he had to attend counseling. For the first 2 weeks, things were okay. Josh seemed serious about change. But then the trouble started. One night, Josh came home drunk. I was furious, and Bean was terrified. He hid under the couch shaking. Josh yelled at Bean to get out, which made things worse. The next morning, I confronted Josh, told him this was unacceptable, and that if he did it again, he had to leave. He promised to stop, but it didn't last. One weekend, Josh left the apartment unlocked while he went out drinking. Bean got out, and after a frantic search, we found him injured, tangled in bushes, scared, and bleeding from a cut on his leg. That was the breaking point. I called my parents, explained what happened, and told Josh to pack his things. He left, yelling at me for not supporting him and not trusting him. The family was split after that. Some said I was too harsh and should give Josh another chance. Others agreed I had to protect Bean. Now Josh wants to move back in with me, promising he's changed. But I'm scared. For Bean, for myself, for what it would mean if history repeated itself. After kicking Josh out, the tension in my family hit a new high. My parents were caught between wanting to support their son and respecting my boundaries. My mom kept texting me, urging me to be patient, and remember he's still your brother. But I was exhausted. My priority was Bean, his safety, and peace. Josh didn't make things easy. He alternated between apologies and anger, sometimes showing up unexpectedly outside my apartment, knocking on the door late at night. I installed new locks and even a security camera after one such incident. I also started seeing a therapist to deal with the stress and to help me navigate this complicated situation. The therapist reminded me that boundaries are essential, especially when people you care about have harmful behaviors. Josh moved in with our parents again, but the cycle of drinking, disappearing for days, and arguments resumed. Bean stayed with me, growing more anxious. The dog started pacing, barking at shadows, and refusing to eat sometimes. It was heartbreaking. One afternoon, Josh called me from our parents' house. "Look, I'm really trying this time. I want to make things right," he said. "Can we meet? Just talk." I agreed, but only in a public place. We met at a small coffee shop. Josh looked tired but more grounded. He told me about the support group he'd joined, therapy sessions, and how he was working hard on sobriety. I told him how scared I was, how his actions affected not just me but Bean, who still didn't trust him. He apologized sincerely and promised to respect my rules. Over the next few weeks, we kept in touch. Josh was better, attending counseling, holding down a part-time job, and not drinking around Bean. I allowed him to visit my apartment a few times, but always supervised. Bean remained cautious but didn't run away or bark uncontrollably. However, the healing wasn't linear. One night, my neighbor called, telling me Bean was barking nonstop. I rushed home and found the back gate slightly open. I panicked. Bean could have gotten out again. I checked the security footage and saw someone trying to open the gate lock. It was Josh. He said he hadn't meant to scare Bean and was just trying to talk to me. I told him firmly that wasn't okay. That incident was a setback. I told Josh he couldn't come to my place anymore until he earned that trust back. Meanwhile, Bean's anxiety worsened. I hired a trainer who specialized in anxious dogs. The trainer worked with Bean on desensitization and calming techniques. Josh continued therapy, but I wasn't sure if he was truly stable. Family tensions grew. My cousin Amanda told me, "You need to help him. He's falling apart." I wanted to help, but not at the cost of my own mental health and Bean's safety. After much debate, my parents agreed to take Josh in again, but only if he committed to strict therapy and a part-time job. Josh moved in with them, and for a while, things seemed better. He got a new job, attended all appointments, and stayed sober. Bean's trust slowly returned too. On one visit, Josh even took Bean for a walk, holding the leash gently and speaking softly. It was a breakthrough. Then, one night, Josh relapsed again. He drank and disappeared for 2 days. When he returned, the family was furious, but Josh said he wanted help. He asked if he could come back to my place, promising to stay sober and respectful. I said no. I loved him, but I had to protect Bean and myself. We decided on family counseling. The sessions were tough but necessary. Josh shared his struggles, and I shared my fears. Bean even attended some sessions, bringing calm. Slowly, we rebuilt trust. Months later, Josh moved into his own apartment and kept up with therapy. He visited me and Bean, who now greeted him with tentative tail wags. We weren't perfect, but we were healing. I realized that setting boundaries was an act of love, not rejection.